go, YouTube. Excuse that. Anyways, here I am. Here I am again, once again, on this path, right? This path of enlightenment and this path of trying to know thyself, right? And though on this path that I walk, yeah, people might want me to might give me advice by telling me to stay away from distractions because it interferes with my peace. I know. Trust me, I know. Because it causes me to react to certain situations that I shouldn't allow to interfere in my life anymore or let it bother me, We're a year later now in this situation, and, what I've come to realize is that sometimes just because I want something to end doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to end, or necessarily mean it's going to end the way that I hope it would end, As much as I pray for certain things to happen, as much as I have faith in the way things are going to turn out, it doesn't always come out that way, That's just the way of life. That's just the way it is, Sometimes it's frustrations, I get so angry. Sometimes I let the anger get the best of me at moments. At moments I let the anger take over, That's what the enemy wants. Is for me to be so freaking enraged, which I am at the moment. But lately something's telling me, that that's not the answer, of course. Well, I already knew it wasn't the answer. I'm just trying to click quick from the anger mode to the happy mode, from one instance to the other, because, a quick reaction because of the fact that, I can get really lost in that moment of anger and release a lot of things that I shouldn't release or say. I've been reprimanded for that by certain colleagues, certain elites had to reprimand me, I guess, for my behavior, which I respect it, I respect if their agenda is to if they honestly care and if they honestly, want the best for me. Then, hey, I'll take any advice from somebody that's genuinely coming from the heart and not genuinely coming from something that they look to gain from it, And I'm not talking bad about anybody because I have a lot of respect for certain people. And yes, there is some excitement when I hear people's voices that I like to hear because they are very knowledgeable in the field. There is people I respect out there. I may argue with their asses. I may argue a lot with people. And then I'll go back and listen to them. I might give it a few weeks, take a break from these people, and then I go back and I listen to them. Because I don't know, I don't know why I do this shit. Why do we do anything in this fucking world, in this fucked up world? What is it, Why do we react certain ways? Why do we behave? Why do we behave in certain behaviors, And it's all the process of learning, It's like relearning everything that you learned as a child up until this point that didn't suit you. And you always react in a certain way to certain situations, So now I'm trying to, erase that permanently. Erase that part of me that I don't like, that I don't care for, that shows up ugly in the world. Who I really am not. It's just a part of me that shows up when the buttons are pushed too far. When you push me over the edge, then I have no choice but to react. I'm not happy with that side of me. Nor do I like to really show that side of me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, people? But it comes out. It's part of life. It's part of me. It's part of being human, right? I mean, what can I tell you? It's just part of this world that we live in. So, I take advice from people. I listen to people. But then I also get angry at people. And I get hurt by people. It's all the process. It's all this part of this journey, It's all with the good and the bad and the ugly, right? So, basically, justice. What is justice? That's what I want to know. That's where I'm at. Always frustration with justice. And then it's not that I want people to go to freaking prison, but I don't know how people can just slap somebody on the wrist and think that these people are going to actually learn. When they repetitive on their behavior, like they just keep fucking messing with a particular person, and they just keep doing things that they know are wrong, and they, just because they're in the law and work for the law or have connections within the law system or within their people, their connections, amongst, I'm not even going to say organizations anymore, whoever they're involved in, because it's not everybody is corrupted. I would hope not. And not everybody's trying out to destroy one particular person, And this is what I felt like for the longest time, that everybody was against me, Sometimes I still feel like that, like it's like I got everybody against me, but it's not like that. And I know that. And I know not every witch out there and maybe every warlock are out to get me either. You understand what I'm saying? It's like I put everybody in one category. And that's the thing that I don't even want to be put in a category. So how am I supposed to put other people in categories when I myself don't want to be put in a category? Because of some people that are making other people look bad. It's just like races, You'll have your particular races that there is those stereotype people in your race, in a particular race, that make the rest look bad. In the Hispanic community, not all of us are drug dealers. Not all of us are in the cartel. But that is something that people see when they see Hispanic community. And I'm just giving an example because I'm Hispanic, and so I feel like I can say that. But I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example. Not all of us Hispanic. A lot of us want to work hard. A lot of us appreciate being in this country. A lot of us want to provide for our families. And a lot of us have genuinely good, upbringings, traditions, that want our children to excel in this world, want that opportunity in this world. And that's about any race. But I'm using myself as an example because I come from a Hispanic community. My grandmother came over on a donkey in the late 1800s and had 15 children in El Paso, Texas. So I had a strong grandmother, a very strong grandmother, who married a Spaniard who was fighting against Pancho Villa, during those times, who married the enemy, basically, and came to the U.S. and had 15 children. My mother was the baby of these 15 children. By the time my mother was 5 years old, her grandmother was paralyzed. Her mother was paralyzed from her hands and her legs. And I'm assuming due to nutrition, and having so many children, losing calcium, losing whatever it is, potassium. I don't know what it is that you lose. Vitamin D, I don't know what it is that you lose in your body after having 15 children, and becoming paralyzed. So I come from a very, very different background of women who no matter what their situations were, they still woke up every day and they still were strong women in my eyes. My mother was a strong woman. She took care of her mother until the day she died in our home. That's probably the first spirit that I felt around me at the age of, I want to say 7 or 8. I'm not even sure. She's the first spirit that I felt. When she died, I felt very different. And I felt that her spirit always lingered around me like all the time up until now, I just feel her. That's the first death I experienced, the first loss, the first heartache when it comes to losing a family member. And then was my sister at 6 years old through which is called the West Nile, but it was a mosquito bite in our neighborhood. So that's two people that were buried by the age of 17 in my life. So, and then, it goes on between my parents after that, passed away. So I'm an orphan. Literal orphan, because now my siblings, I have no connections with them either. So, what I want to say is that I put everybody in the same category, we tend to judge people and say, well, all witches are bad and all warlocks are doing the same evilness in this world, And I'm not for them. Trust me, I'm not for this particular style of living or a particular belief system or however you want to say it. I'm not on that side. I'm only on the side that I know. I'm not here to judge them, and I'm not here to go against these people. But as life goes on, what I'm starting to realize, my little mindset was very small as far as looking outside into the world and noticing what was around me and the way I was living and the way I was thinking, you know. And this is not about flip-flopping. This is not about wishy-washy. It's not about that shit. It's about growing up and fucking facing the fucking truths in life and looking at everything and not just thinking that one thing is right and it's the only fucking way. That was my mindset, you know. And I'm not taking back on believing in, and I don't even consider, I said I was a Christian, but I believe in Christ's ways. But I can't even completely say that I'm 100% Christian anymore because of the fact that as you learn things and you see things start to change a little bit, you know, because I'm not going to be in a category. I'm not here to fit in one style of people or culture. That's not me. And from the very beginning, I think I even said that in my beginning of my first videos, I'm still rediscovering who I am and what I like and what I don't like, and I'm opening my mind more. I'm realizing, you know, the human race. I'm realizing that everybody's going to pick the way they want to live. And who am I to say that this is the only way to be? And these people are living fucking wrong. I don't believe in rituals. I don't believe in sacrifice. I don't believe in anything that hurts a human or an animal. I don't. That I do are strongly on rape, trafficking, human trafficking, organ, all that shit. I don't believe in that shit. That I'm always going to stand by. But I am, you know, I don't care what these groups do as long as they're not hurting another human being. When you start to hurt a human being with witchcraft and things like that, then I have an issue with that. You understand? But if you're doing your own rituals and you're doing rituals to help yourself or whatever it is within your group of people and it's not to harm another human being, then that's none of my business. It really is none of my business. And there for a while I was so arrogant and so didn't have the knowledge and didn't want to understand other ways of living in this world, you know? So here I was crucifying other belief systems or other people's ways of being, but yet I don't want to be crucified myself. And that's a hypocrite. So I'm sitting here, you know, realizing all this shit, you know, and I'm like, should I even make a video about this shit? Should I even tell people this shit? Because then now they're going to go around talking shit, you know, but who gives a fuck? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a flying fuck what people think about me. Obviously. You understand? I'm going to be the same person I am at home and on the fucking street. Sometimes I'm polite, depending on the interaction that somebody gives me, then I'm going to react that way. That's the way I've always been. Is it right? Maybe not. Maybe I should just be kind to the whole world and not take it like personal all the time. You know, that's something I got to work on too. And so life has taught me a lot of things, you know, in a fucking year, and it's going to teach me a lot more. And it's taught me not to identify myself with anything, with anybody and anything, and any religious groups, any organizations, any categories. I'm not here to identify myself with anything but me. And I think basically the whole world should think like that, you know, because of the fact that then we're not really living our full potential in our life. We're not living the fullest because we're too busy caged up, trying to impress people, trying to live a certain way, trying to follow these rules, because if you don't, you're not a Christian, or if you don't, you're an atheist, or if you don't do this, you're blah, 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 you know, and I'm like, and I'm sick and tired of that shit. Because one minute, maybe I want to get on my knees and I'm going to pray to the Lord. Maybe another minute, I'm going to pray to the Lord telepathically in my mind. And I don't have to get on my knees. Maybe I'm going to pray to the Lord in the shower. Maybe I'm going to do my system my way. It doesn't make me any less of this person or that, or it doesn't fit me in a category. Who cares? The whole point is, who gives a flying ass? Because in the end, I'm the one that has to answer for myself. Nobody has to answer for me, but me. Nobody's in blame for if I'm miserable or happy, but me. So we get caught up in what everybody thinks, you know, and what we're wearing and what we're this. And yeah, sometimes I like to shop. Yes. I frugal shop. I frugal shop. Because sometimes I want to appreciate myself. They're gifts to myself. So, this morning message is basically just saying, that I'm going to be a different person in a fucking year. What I'm talking about now might not even be something that even comes out of my mouth in a year. And I might flip the whole thing and be something. It depends, it's like it's whatever journey, whatever I'm experiencing. Life is all about your experiences, and what you're going through, and the lessons and the heartaches and the sorrows and the happiness and the joy and the anger. It teaches you a lot of things, it teaches you a lot. If you sit in it long enough and you sit alone and you learn how to listen to yourself and what's going to really truly make you happy and have this joy, this light that everybody talks about, this Christ-like light that everybody wants to talk about. If you sit long enough alone, and I'm not saying you got to be alone for the rest of your life, and I'm not saying you should be single, but if you really just separate yourself from the world every once in a while, and go sit somewhere by yourself, just by yourself, and just think about things that have been happening in your life, and think about what's important to you, what's superficial and what's not. And I believe that's where you'll find yourself, somewhere in the middle. You understand? Somewhere in the middle lies the truth. And what is the truth? Because for every person, the truth is different. But the truth at that moment, at that particular time, as you're sitting alone, it'll reveal something to you at that time. And in 6 months from now, it might be something different. It's always going to change. You're supposed to be changing. You're supposed to be evolving. We're not supposed to be just stuck in certain ways and styles in life. You understand what I'm saying? Anyways, who would want to be like that? That's kind of freaking boring to me. That's just my opinion, That's my opinion. And like I said, these messages are my messages. These are my experiences. These are not to write a book about or to analyze it to the point where you want to change your life and copy somebody else's life. Hell no. Who wants to copy somebody? Do your own thing. Be your own person, man. Don't copy people. Don't envy people. Be you. And you will expand so much. You is I don't know even how to explain it, because you is different every day of your life. You're never the same person. If you wake up in the morning, you're different every day. You're supposed to be different every day. You're supposed to change what you didn't like yesterday and change it for today and try to do less of it. Shit, I'm working on not cussing as much, because lately I've been picking up cussing again. Been a little frustrated with people lately. With energy, I want to say. Energy's been frustrating me lately. And what's the word for it? My anger. Okay, these are things I look at and I'm like, okay, what is interrupting my peace? And start to analyze what's interrupting or what's keeping you from having that joy more hours of the day, Because in my joy, I want to be happy until my eyes close at night, until I go to sleep on my pillow. I want joy in my life. I don't want to be mad at people. I'm tired of yelling at people. I'm tired of cussing at people. But this is something that's within my own problem, my own self, and I'm doing it myself. Nobody's doing shit to me but me. I'm the one who's reacting because I'm pissed, right? And I need to get rid of this anger issue that I got, because I do have anger issues. But I see this, I'm acknowledging this. And that's a big, big start. Just like when you're an addict, to acknowledge that you're an addict is a big, big fucking step. And so in life, when you admit and you see the truth in front of your fucking face and you can no longer run from it, that's the beginning. That's a good thing. It might hurt you and you might cry. You might be so mad because you could see it, but it's a good thing. It's healing. You're going to heal from this, It ain't the end of the world, people. Life will get better, That's how we got to look at it. Always optimistic, man. Even in the negativity, you got to be optimistic about it, even though you don't want to. Because there's times that I'm just so mad that I just want to stay in that rage and that anger. And it's for what? It isn't going to suit me. All it does is keep things from coming forward towards me. I'm putting a wall up against things coming towards me. Being an alchemist, or whatever you want to call it, because I don't even call myself an alchemist. I don't call myself a messenger. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a minister or a pastor. I'm not religious. I'm not an angel. I'm not a demon. I'm not any of this shit that you guys have fucking labeled. I'm just me. I just come out here and I talk to you. And people take it and they want to label it, but you can't label this. You just can't. Because I don't even know. And if I'm the one that's talking, then how the hell can you all think that you know me so well when I'm still rediscovering myself every day? You understand? Every day I'm discovering myself. I'm exploring myself. So you can't tell me that you know me. You can't even write a book about this. You can't even use it in your psychology classes with your students. Because by the time they finish their degree, this is still going to keep going. This is not going to end in a 4-year degree. You understand what I'm saying? These students that are learning this stuff, something they got to take upon themselves. Something they got to learn about themselves. They need to take notes on themselves and also write their own journaling about themselves, you know, and their own behaviors. And stop paying attention to other people's behaviors. Pay attention to your own behaviors. That's the key. Anyways, I think I've said enough this morning, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday, a blessed Sunday, guys. God bless you guys. God be with you always. And I say peace in the Middle East. Amen.